Hello, good people.
Welcome to Kimbelembele podcast, where we aim to reach out to young people by creating a healthy space to have honest conversations. So let's talk about it. My name is Deborah Gishu, and I'm here with
Tamanda Longwe.
Jasper Dennis.
Manu, aka the dark chocolate in the house.
So let's get to know each other a little bit more. Since this is our first episode, tell me something about you guys that is interesting, or somebody might be like, really, Tamanda? Is that you?
Okay, first things first, I'd like to share about where I'm from. I am Malawian and Kenyan, and so I'm just a mix of many different things, but I love both places. They're both my homes. A bit about myself, I love a good book, and I love anything that has cinnamon in it, like cinnamon in coffee, cinnamon in cereal, cinnamon rolls, anything. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
We are sorry.
Yeah? Underline the part food. So, something interesting about me. Just go poetic. Go music. That's Jasper. Music, dance is my tribe. Poetry is a calling. And food. Hey. Anything edible. Like everything that goes into the stomach is... Aside from honey. I don't do honey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't do honey. Yeah, I'm sweet enough. The glory of Jesus.
Okay, first of all, introduction. I'm Kenyan. That is it. One thing about me, I think not many people know that I know how to dance well. You get it? That's just an assumption. When people see me, they're like, that this guy know how to dance or things of that sort. But I know how to dance well. What else? I love eating, obviously. Who doesn't love eating? Reading, that's also my gig. Part-time gig is reading. So, yeah, that's all I can say.
Nice. I'm Deborah Gishu, and I love me some chocolate. Like anything chocolate, count me in. Like, I don't know, anything. I'm there with you. And today's podcast, we are going to talk about your first date. And isn't it so ironic that this is our first episode and we're talking about first dates? Guys,
Yes.
That is pretty cool. So we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of first dates. Like, that gets me thinking, like, are there even rules to first dates? Like, are there actually rules? What do you guys think?
Why do you even do first dates? Why do you even title it first dates?
That gets me thinking. Then the question then should be, what's the purpose of a date, right? What do you guys think? What is the purpose of a date? Emmanuel?
I think basically the purpose of a date is to create connection. Connection between the two people who are meeting to know each other,
Yeah.
Because the date is all about I get to know you, you get to know me. So that's my definition of a first date. Yeah, that's it all. Like, it's just a connection for me. Nothing much. The connection matters more than any other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say that first dates are definitely to see whether you connect with the person, emotionally, maybe physically, chemistry-wise, to just like feel out the person and how you guys are together. I think also, apart from connecting, it's an opportunity to see the person in a public space, Maybe you've texted, maybe, you've been texting online or you've met on Zoom, but you've never interacted with them in a public area. So that's an opportunity to see how they are in public. Yeah.
Oh, for me, it's about experience. I want to experience this person. Like ideally, when I am calling someone for the first date, we have probably been talking for a month, a week or two, but we've been talking, texting, calls, a month, depending on the location though.
Okay.
Depending on the location.
I mean, you never know. She could be in Rome.
Yeah.
And she's flying in a month later.
Is it like-
I'm just waiting for my true love. So it's about experience. I want to experience this person, as she said, in a public forum. What do you do when you're around people? What do you do when you're around me? When I do this, how is your reaction? How do you eat? Like, how do you handle the waiter?
That one.
What kind of food
How
do you eat?
That
Like,
one.
how is your language around people? Are you that kind of a person who is like, oh, I'm not a people person. Nah.
Like there.
Find chemistry and then experience this person. Get to know, do I want you for a second date? Thirdly, are you godly? Because if you're not a Christian, yeah, for me it's Christian. If you're not Christian, if you're not, you don't have God at the center, then red flags.
I think basically he talked about something. He talked about experience, and this is what I'm digging into. Is it like experience, the way somebody sits, the way they talk, the way you get it? Like, is that the bit of experience whereby, like, if I'm going on a first date with you, should I be like, I am monitoring things like how you're eating, how you're sitting, how you are looking at people?
It's not like a checklist. It's this. I want to be able to say honestly, I enjoyed your company in an honest way. Like, I want to feel I was with someone. I did not struggle through the conversation. This connection that we have built over the time that we have been talking, we've been texting, we've been calling, is it real? Can it be actualized in a real setup, face-to-face setup? So if that is actualized, then we can probably think of a second date, maybe, or the way forward from this first date. So the experience is just basically knowing there's a connection that we have been building. There's what I've known. There's who I've known through text, through calls. Is this really you? Because we have experiences. We have like testimonies of guys ulitumua picha. And then you're like, hey, filters have done us injustice in this.
So we can say the purpose of a first date is to be able to put a face and a physical a person behind the text messages, right? Because most of the times, by the time you're going for a first date, you have spent time just texting this person or on the phone, right? And I like what Amanda pointed out, like being in a social setup. So then you also get to see someone outside of just, the norm, right? So I think that's pretty cool. So then what are some do's? If we're saying, then are we saying there are rules as a first date?
Are they
Definitely
rules?
rules.
The rules.
Okay, if we say the rules, that is harsh. You get it? Because man, when you talk about rules, I remember my high school, my
triggering.
primary school.
No,
Now that's
Rules are
triggering. That's triggering.
They are
Let's just
must-dos.
say that just like, let's say like steps, or how do we call them? Like
Guidelines.
procedure or guidelines. You get it?
First
That's
of all,
better.
There's no
receive
simpler way.
healing.
There's no simpler way of
Your
saying it.
portion.
There's no other way of saying it. Stop marinating this thing. It's rules. It's just rules.
Nah.
Okay,
Okay,
rules,
let's go.
guidelines. What are some do's? Let's talk about some
Yeah,
do's.
must do's.
Some important must do's.
Do's. Well, okay. I think the first thing that comes to mind is making sure that your first date is in a public area, right? I don't know what the setting will be like, but just make sure you're in a place that has a lot of people, a lot of exit points, okay? And, where you can just be out in the open. I don't understand how people be having first dates and they're Netflix and chilling. I mean, okay, for who? Like,
what?
come over to my house. Or like, I'm outside your gate.
But wait.
Come out. Like,
Question. You say something about lots of exits.
yeah.
Why exit? Are you planning to go flee?
No. Okay, I'm
Like
not
you-
trying to
okay.
flee, but like,
This is your first time meeting me. And
Yeah.
you're already thinking of how you run.
no, just in case you're a serial killer, narcissist, or psychopath, I can like decide to leave. You know what I mean? If there's only one exit, it's gonna be obvious, and then you follow me and become my stalker. But if, for example, there's an exit behind the toilet, I can just say I'm going to the bathroom, take my bags and all my things, and leave. Child, you never see me ever again. Okay? So
That's
Who hurt you?
yeah.
Receive healing.
Who hurt you?
Oh my goodness. Emmanuel, what do you think?
I think my first do is dressing. Man, that is where I will start. Man, usiende date you look, unakaa vile unataka.
Yeah.
But then
You get it?
dressing
That-
is also you dress to the occasion. Because
Okay.
Yes, you got
location of the date. Because that will set the basis of how I dress.
That's the thing, you get it. Obviously, there's location, you get it. Okay, we have picnics, we have the formal dates, you understand? We have different types of dates, you get it? We
Yeah.
have hikes. Okay, you can't expect me to go on a hike with a suit.
Exactly.
If you're going for a date, you get it. But what I'm talking about is just you looking the part. It's not about maybe it's about you. Me for what I say, it's about yourself. First of all, you get it. Like I am coming out of this place. How am I looking? You get it. Like how am I picturing myself before somebody else pictures me? You understand? How will they carry me? You understand? And hata kama ulioga na panga, okay, Tamzi, panga is a sabuni.
I know what a panga is. Oh my
So
gosh.
if you
Panga ni sabuni inakaa fimbo.
biscuit,
Exactly.
biscuit.
Okay, I'm now confused. What are you saying? I'm like, is it a biscuit? Is it a soap?
No,
Is it,
soap, but sasa,
it's a long one.
It's a
the
bar
long,
soap.
the
The
bar
basic-
soap. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a bar soap. So basically, what I'm saying is when you have a shower with the panga and everything, because we understand the economy might be harsh on you, don't go there smelling the panga itself. You get it? Like, try as much as you can to some roll-on hapo, perfume hapo. You get it? Just look sharp. And then your hair, man. It's okay. I'm done. And may
Aye.
feel sana.
umeexperience nani wewe?
Hapa we, ukianza hivyo.
Me, I think an important one is I think have fun. I think so many times we go on dates and it almost becomes like an interview.
Yeah.
So we end up concentrating so much on how am I eating, how am I talking, how am I sounding, how am I seated, that we actually forget to have fun and actually
Yeah.
like wait, like I left my bed, I left my house,
Right.
you know, like I've left so many other things I could have been doing, but I'm doing this, right? So why not seize the moment and have fun because you're there, right? And I think another one,
I have this question. So if it is somebody you're meeting, let's say for example, just pause occasion where you chat with somebody for a month, I don't know why, but you chat with that person for 1 month
Location.
and
That's
you're
why.
meeting them, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you just expect you don't know them and you want to have fun. Basically, we are gonna have fun,
Yeah.
and I'm meeting you physically for the first time.
You can have fun.
you
Aye.
can have
You
fun.
can have fun.
How?
You can have fun.
Where?
I think
When?
funness is not equated in terms of like, you know, literally like playing. You know what I'm saying? Having fun, just like have a good time, have a good conversation. Make sure that the conversation you're equally putting in the same energy and the same effort as he's putting into it. If you realize that the conversation is dying at some point, you know, bring it up yourself, you know, that's having fun. Like go home and be like, you know what, that guy, yeah, never again. But it was a great time. Like it was a good conversation. The food was amazing. But
What do you guys think about having a conversation? Or does it seem okay? As Christians, I know it seems awkward to the people who are outsiders. But what do you think about having a conversation like about Christianity? Like in a date, you just set up and you're like, let's open the Bible, the book.
So like God in this conversation. I'm the Bible in this conversation. First, let me point out on ado. Ado is, for me, is paint a picture you can maintain. Like, be real. Be real. I'll not go borrowing outfits just to fit in this one dinner date, which is the first one. I'll probably want to take you to more.
Yeah.
If this goes very well, you'll expect a second date. And probably a third one and a fourth one. Will I be able to maintain that which I brought on the first date? That's a do. Like, just be you.
Yeah.
If they don't like you for you, Maze, they are not worth it. There are so many fish in the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just to like answer the initial question before we even go into talking about like inviting God into the conversation, having fun, right? Enjoying yourself. I feel like, first of all, before you have fun with someone, you have to break the ice, you know? Like regardless of where you are, who you're with, if you're meeting a stranger for the first time, there's gonna be this weird icy feeling of like, oh my God, what do I do? Is he looking at my side profile? Oh Lord, I'm telling you, you guys have never had that thought in your mind where you look to the side and you're like, oh my God, does my side profile look good? Anywho, so you have to break that ice. And I think a good way to break that ice is to have a first date in one, I already said a public area, but then also that like in an activity kind of thing, you know? For example, you could go for bowling and you could do like double dates with other friends. You could go ice skating. I've never been and I really want to go to ice skate, but I heard it's a fun thing to do. And you're literally breaking the ice there with your skates, man. You're just breaking the ice. So you can go ice skating. You can also go to mini golf, you can go on a hike. You could go to an event, because in those kind of spaces, you're around other people, you're interacting with other people, so you don't have to feel so like firm, and you can enjoy yourself regardless of whether the person is interesting or not. Yeah.
At the same time, I feel like for first date, you should also have some time alone.
Some time alone.
Yeah, like, okay, it's an activity. By alone, I mean it's an activity. But remember, this is a first date.
Yeah.
So my main aim of this first date was chemistry, build chemistry, connect. So if at all this date is an activity set up, then make sure you're doing the activity either together or sometime later in the day, you'll have some time together to just like recollect on the day, get to know, did you enjoy?
Yeah.
Unlike now following up later in the day when you guys, everyone is in their own place and you're like, hey, how was your day? It will be better, or it will be sweeter if I'm here, you're here, I'm like, hey, how is this? I'll be able to read your face, read the energy that you're throwing, because you might be doing an activity that I hate. But since it's my first date, and this might like ruin everything, and maybe I even like you, but what we are doing right now, it's not Jasper. This is not me. But you're enjoying it. So I'll like go through, I'll survive this whole experience,
Yeah.
but you're never doing it again. Just because I went through hell.
Right.
I like what he said, like be intentional, that even as much as it's an activity, that you're intentional to have time with that person and actually live there knowing the person better than you walked into the date. I like that. The intentionality, right? We have to be intentional about dates, not just about, free food. I know for a lot of girls, we just think, free food, let's go. But like, let's be intentional to actually get to know the other person. Like, let me leave there with new information that I can be like, okay, is this guy worth a second date?
Yeah.
But let's go to some of the don'ts. Are we touching a spot?
You are touching
Are we touching
a
a
big one.
spot?
You're touching
A
spot,
big one.
a deep one.
A very big
Like
one.
you're going into
One
a
thing I hate is when you're gonna deal with somebody, and this person is using the phone.
You're like, hello.
Record the meal, record the venue. Am I employing you to be a cameraman?
Have you experienced
That's
this?
a bit.
This lady-
Not in a bad
like,
way.
you see,
It's
my
not in
friend
a bad
does
way.
this. You're on the phone. My friend does this. You see,
Yeah,
I saw
you
that,
see?
and
You
I want
see?
to know you. I don't care about your friends right now. I just need to know you. The memes that go on your status, maze, see sai, you can share, ni text. Maze ni text.
Oh my
'Cause
goodness.
I love those ladies, you're like, hey,
I thought I was hurt.
bro.
Clearly, these are signs that we should probably do like
Therapy
a therapy
session.
session here on heartbreaks.
No. Let's be real. You get it. What's the sense of me going on a first date with you?
Yeah.
And then what you basically do is throughout the time, we don't even have a sensible conversation. You get it?
Yeah.
We don't even have a sensible conversation because I know, if I ask all of you, if you went to the first date, do you know the second name of the person you went to the date with? Basically, it's always, no, I just know he's called Fred, and then what else? What is his second name? Tutajua mbele. Like, what are we talking about? You get it? So now I'm saying that the first date is all about knowing names. You get it? But you'll definitely know this person you get it, the capacity that you can at that time. If the date is for 2 hours, it's good taking photos. You get it? Because you're taking photos, we're in a good, serene environment. But man, if you're taking the whole time,
Do you have to tell your friends?
The
friends
whole
like, on
time.
spot?
streaking,
We're having this content creation for who? No, for who? Honestly, like you're there taking photos and sharing to your friends, and then you're like on phone.
Aki, they
half of
said
the
we are
time.
cute.
It's very rude.
It's
No,
very rude. I
Honestly,
agree with
agree
you
with
guys.
that.
I will
I agree.
leave.
I agree.
Yeah.
I will leave. I cannot stand that. I will leave.
Tamanda, from your experience, what do you think are some of the don'ts?
Okay, this is a bit of like a controversial kind of idea, but I heard somewhere that you're not meant to have your first date in like a dinner setting. like seated across the table in a fancy place, like having a dinner.
That's tense. That's
Yeah.
tense. That's tense.
Yeah, so
I like that.
Mm,
I like
Correct.
that.
Correct.
I like that.
I know it's very hard to take in, especially for us girls who like to be treated right and to
Amen.
look
Praise
good,
him
you
on
know,
that note.
to walk into Inti Nikai with heels, okay? But yeah, I do agree with that. I feel like when you're sitting across someone on a table, it does feel like an interview, and we talked about feeling like an interview, and it also kind of just feels a bit kind of strict, you know? You don't like strict things. It feels very strict. Like, this is the expectation here. We're on a fancy dinner. We're going to order some food, and we're going to talk to each other and get to know one another. But, like, the facade that you have there during the moment is the facade of, like, I look good, child. Like, this is, you know? And I want to seem good to this person. So it doesn't bring out the very genuine part of who they are. So, yeah, I think that you should not